Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys are safe. Your houses are safe. Your cars are safe. I want to say hi, everyone. I want to introduce you, Mark. If you don't know him, it's a very good, famous, handsome, talented sales trainer. Thank you for coming and joining me here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I can see comments that people are joining. They can see us. Fantastic. Great. So, we gathered today here to talk about sales. Me and Mark, we have a thing. We like to sit and talk about sales for hours. The last time we recorded a podcast, it took a while. And even if we don't record, we still talk about sales. So why not to do it online on LinkedIn? Because people on LinkedIn are here to get some information, get some tricks, get some advices, find something new. And this is why we're doing this webinar. And as any webinar, me from the ThinkProp, I don't come with them empty-handed. I will have a gift that I will give in the end of the training, of the webinar. Yeah, so it will be a very good... Yeah, it will be a very good, expensive gift from the ThinkProp that I will hand over to those who stay until the end. By the way, we don't plan to stay long. We don't want to take all your evening, probably 45 minutes to 1 hour if we don't get too chatty. So, yes, shall we go straight away to it?
I mean, yeah, we can wait for some more people to come in or we can get going with it. All good.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, like for those who don't know you, like a little bit of your background and what you're doing now? Yeah, about your product will be great.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way to build up, and then people coming in, they can catch maybe the end of it or the beginning of it. But hi, everybody. My name's Mark. I'm originally from the UK, from London, and I've been in Dubai for about 16 years now. And when I arrived, my first job, actually, I started in real estate when I first came into Dubai. And maybe you can relate to this, but when I started at the company, my first day I was given a book and told, go to the corner and read. And that was my onboarding experience. And that was for 3 days. Luckily enough, I had a couple of people that actually helped me and guided me, but they didn't have to do that. It wasn't like the company assigned them to me. They were just good people themselves. And I'm always grateful for those people that helped me at the beginning. But, it was a kind of sink or swim. And in 2008, the market, literally, as 2 months of me being in the market, it just completely crashed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which I know people have felt in the last few years, like we're at good times now, but if people were here in 2020, there was a moment where people were like, what's going on in Dubai again? So I know what it's like to go through those tough times and get through those tough times. And what I'm trying to do is work with people in different industries, but a lot of the time real estate, to empower the employee so they have the right tools needed to be the best that they can be. And that's what I want to make sure, that when they come into a company, the company has created a culture of learning. But it can't just be that the company gives you everything. You also have to go out there and work on yourself every single day to be the best that you can be. And there's people that can help you along the way, but truthfully, it comes down to you. And over the past 5 years or so, this has been something I've really worked on, to work with clients and companies and individuals to give them the tools, but also to give them the confidence and the motivation to believe that they are worthy of being in front of people and offering a service and being of high value, of high status. The trouble is, within sales, a lot of people are quite submissive and we're going to this, but that's what I want to help people, like raise their status, and they're in the room with powerful people and they deserve to be there.
Correct. I agree. My onboarding experience was even funnier because I didn't speak English. So I got the English book where was you read and then you start selling properties. And I was like, yeah, I'll start to the Russian clients, because it was like I had to learn the language, I had to learn the market, I had to learn the city. So I like, to be honest, I like that currently, I would say the last 2 to 5 years, there is a learning environment that started being built, because back then when we came to UAE, there was no such a thing as a L&D manager. There was no such a thing as a coach. It was back home in our countries, but it wasn't here. Like here, it's kind of fresh thing. And I'm very glad that companies started investing in it and they see the value. Because it is very important to invest in people. When you're in real estate, you really don't, apart from the visa and their marketing, you don't invest anything on them. So like if you invest a little bit in some sorts of education, so the feedback, the results that you'll get are going to be way, way higher. So to make it organized, because I'm an organized girl, I chose topics. Yes. And I chose the topics that we both like to talk about. Yep. And the first topic going to be emotional intelligence. Tell me, Mark, what is emotional intelligence and why do you like this topic so much? And you talk about it in your training, the 5 principles of successful sales career that is on our platform in ThinkProp. You have about emotional intelligence. I do talk about emotional intelligence as well. Why is this important to sales people? And not only in real estate, I would say everywhere, any sort of salesperson, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it is the difference between being that average salesperson and taking it to the next level. And I'm not going to get too technical about it, and I'm not going to give you like real definitions, but what I want to talk about is there's really 2 parts to it. And people will say that there's, the self-awareness, which is huge, okay? Mm-hmm. But then what people don't tend to understand as well is there's also the management side. So you've got self-awareness and then self-management. So I'm aware of certain problems that I have, okay? But can I actually manage them? So I'm aware that I can get very, very, very easily distracted, okay? Can I manage that? The way I manage that is when I'm getting focused to work, I put my phone away or I turn off notifications. That's how I manage it. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to actually get any work done. That's just, I'm aware of that, okay? And I'm working. Yeah. But the other bit is that, so there's the self side and then there's the social relationship side. So how you interact with other people, how you're able to be around other people. And, there's people which are introverts and there's people which are extroverts, okay? And people would say that unless you're an extrovert, you're not going to be good at selling. I actually think it can be the other way around, which is the introverted people. What they do is, which is one of the most important parts of selling, is they listen.
Yes.
They don't want to talk too much. So they actually take it upon themselves to ask a question and listen to the client. And this is how you're making the client feel. And that's what all of this comes down to. That's the differentiator, how you're making that person in front of you feel. And we can go through this a bit later on, but there's different types of ways. So just because you're friendly with somebody doesn't mean you're going to get business.
Yeah.
So with this emotional intelligence, like there's many levels to it, okay? But really it is this part of the awareness side and then the management side. And I'd say the management side is the most important. I can be aware of many, many things, but can I actually manage my day-to-day to get the success that I need?
Exactly. What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
So, I agree. to me also emotional intelligence is when you're clear and understanding what is going on the emotional level with the client. Sometimes you can be really overwhelming on the client. Sometimes when the client is new to the industry or to the market and you are all with with your pitch and you're like killing it, you have to feel how your client feels about it. You might be pitching a product that they don't like, they might not understand you. So technically the ability to read the room and to adjust
Yeah.
yourself as well to the your client. So being intelligent, and knowing how to manage yourself. Like since you said about your weakness, mine is like I can get too chatty and too funny in a way. Like, I'll start joking around so much that I can drag this out of the business. So like to me, I have to keep on, focusing, but I learned it over time. But before I would be talking about everything else other than my property. And I
Yeah.
can't say that I wasn't selling because I was, but focusing on the business, and it depends on people, like some people will talk about types of customers. Some
Mm.
people appreciate it and somebody doesn't at all. So
Yeah.
being intelligent about it is very important. By the way, dear guys who are here online with us now, I saw around 60 people.
I want,
You can ask questions, you can drop your own comments, and you can say what you think about those topics too. Yeah, so we will either stop in between and answer the questions, or we will do it in the end. So
yeah.
feel
And
free.
they can disagree with us as well.
They can, yeah,
They
yeah,
can. Yeah.
definitely.
I'm happy to have a discussion about it. But to add to the emotional intelligence side, like the word that everyone thinks of is empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big word. It's a big, huge word that's thrown around these days, along with emotional intelligence. Like you've got to have empathy. But what it means is that you can remove yourself from the situation because, and I speak about this in all the trainings we do, the job of a salesperson is to be a problem solver. Okay, that is how you're going to be of value to a client. But if you're so involved in the problem and you're joining this party of complaining, worrying, being scared, how are you going to be able to solve that person's problem? So it's not a case of dismissing the issues that they have, but it's about saying, okay, I understand, let's work on this together and we will find the solution together for this. And people will say, well, what's that got to do with real estate? It's got many things to do with real estate. People have been trying to find a property. They've been looking in all these different areas, and they've been messed around by different agents. They've been messed around by different listings. There's so many problems that a buyer is facing dealing in the market. And if you can be that agent that raises its status and works on itself every day to be a master of the area, a master of the product, master of what they're doing, then they're going to know they're going to be dealing with somebody that can solve their problem, which is getting the property that they want.
We got a question.
Here we go.
From Paul. Yeah. How do you train or improve your emotional intelligence as a salesperson?
So what we do is, although I put it as a principle itself, it's something which is brought into every part of the training that we do. So it would be part of the discovery with a client. So when you're sat with a client, as an example, when you're sat with a client and you're asking questions, which unfortunately most agents don't do, okay? Yeah. If you sat
They
with
don't
them
bother.
and you're understanding the person in front of you and you're picking up on their tones and their body behavior and those types of things and adapting to that, that is where the emotional intelligence side come in. So you're socially managing that person in front of you. So you might have a client, and like you said, there's multiple personalities. You have to adapt. And the only way you can adapt is by being aware of it and managing it.
Mm-hmm. I can add to it is to learn active listening. Yeah, so it's a good exercise. Active listening is when you ask the questions and you actually hear the answers. Very
Yeah.
often salespeople do ask questions, but they don't gather the answers, or they don't get the answers, or they don't hear them. So maybe you have a list of questions that you want to know about, this client, and practice on asking them and getting the answers and using those answers, in the sales process. So if the client is telling you that, let's say they have a dog and they need a pet-friendly building in the area, yes? So you don't keep on pitching them Dubai GBR, or
Yeah.
something that is absolutely uncomfortable. So listening to them and making them feel that you listen, that's also a big example of emotional intelligence. Yeah?
Yeah. We in life, just not real estate,
Yeah.
in actual everyday life, people don't be heard, people don't be listened to. And it's incredible how the relationship can build and the rapport can build from simply being present with somebody and actually hearing them out and taking the time and making them feel comfortable and going through that process with them. It can make the biggest difference between, winning a sale and losing a sale.
Often when I make posts on LinkedIn or I do videos about sales, I get comments. People say, "Is the same in relationship? It's the same when you're trying to date somebody or you're on a date." So it is really true. All the sales techniques, tricks, emotional intelligence, they don't apply just in a sales job. They do apply in your personal life, in the relationship with your friends, with your family, with everybody. Even that auntie that doesn't like you and you have bad relationship with, if you ever try to ask her about her life and what she likes and so on, and she will see that you listen, you probably will win her over.
Yeah.
So like that's a very, very strong tool that can be used in any sort of relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I was interviewing a doctor last week, a behavioural scientist doctor, and we were talking, and this was about a place of work, and we were talking about the book by, I think his name's Gary Chapman, the 5 Love Languages. And
Yeah, I know
what
it.
he does is, he takes those 5 love languages and he applies it to the workplace, and he doesn't tell these people that it's specifically part of this relationship side, but they come back to him, these C-suite level CEOs and CFOs, and he's like, no, that's just like a relationship, isn't it? And he goes, yeah, no, I won't swear, but no SH, yeah, So everything is a relationship, whether it's work, out of work, whatever. It's how you are able to connect with that person in front of you.
I remember when I was training also management, and we were talking about how to interview people, and I made a lot of checklists, questions, how to check people. But when it comes to me, how do I interview? I just like, do I like this person or not? Like, did he build this rapport to make me like him? Not in a romantic way, but like, do I like this person? Do I want to deal with him or not? Like, if the first interview he didn't manage to win me over, I don't think it's gonna work in real estate.
No.
Yeah. So how to win somebody over, how to make somebody liking you. One of the things that people use are sales triggers. So what are sales triggers? Are phrases or actions that we use to influence our clients to do what we need them to do. Yeah. And usually sales people are perceived as manipulators. We make clients to do what we want. And is a yes and no, but what I want to talk about here is how to use them ecologically. Yeah. So sometimes people do need to be a little bit pushed towards making a deal, not because they don't want, just because they need this push. It happens sometimes when the client, he has exactly what he wants and he's just hesitant. And on that stage, on the closing stage, is good to use a sales trigger. Yeah. So I want to give an example to make it clear what I'm talking about. When you are talking with the clients, let's go back to real estate,
Yeah.
and he chose a property that is in high demand in a very demanded area. So it's your job to inform him that this apartment, let's say the 2 bedroom on the corner unit, is very fast moving unit. So I'm just letting you know that if you wait longer, these ones go faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a trigger that is called fear of missing out. So you inform your client that if he drags the time, he can miss out on something important. Yeah.
And that's what's happening in this market, because
Yeah.
it is a market where everyone is quite fat at the moment. Like if you're half good at what you do, you're having a good time in real estate at the moment. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but the trouble is there's a lot of people who don't believe what that person is saying. And the only time that they would believe it is if they've had an experience of missing out from before. And that's why you need to understand like what type of investments people have made before. When did they start coming into the market? Did they start buying in 2007 when the whole market was at its absolute peak? And then out of nowhere, the whole market crashed and people lost, millions upon millions of dollars overnight. So are they carrying that fear over with them, or have they had an experience where they've been pushed to do something? They weren't aware of all the terms and conditions. They got completely burnt. And again, they lost their money. So it's one thing to say that they're going to miss out, but some people, they take their time, and it's important to understand, how that person wants to be dealt with, because people don't like to be sold to, but if it's done in the right sort of way, you end up guiding them down the path so they feel like they're in control, but really you're already a couple of steps ahead. And if you're doing it in an ethical way, which is that you're selling a product which is trustworthy, and the great thing is in Dubai now is that there's escrow. So your investment is protected if you're buying off plan, or if you're buying a property and you've got to wait for it to transfer. Any of these parts, there is that security for people. But, there are so many agents where you get messages of, oh, you need to buy now or it's going to go. And that is happening at the moment. Like if they're not
true,
now, they are going to miss out. But you need to come up with new techniques, because at any time, the market could just go. I'm not here to be negative at all, but I've experienced it. We had some good times and out of nowhere, boom. And it all...
I had it twice already, so yeah.
Yeah, but people don't believe it. Like, they're living the love at the moment, and people forget the hard time that happened.
Well, Dubai market has cycles, and every real estate market does. So it's on and off. When it comes to other triggers, let's say the desire to belong. There is all the news are like billion, trillion of dollars of transactions, so people see that everybody are buying and they're like, I need to jump on that train, like it's on that bandwagon. I need to jump in there because it's good. So like this is a trigger. I like to give the example when you're traveling and you want to choose a place to eat when you're in a new city, and you see a bunch of restaurants and some of them are really empty and some of them are filled with people. You will try to get a table in that restaurant that is filled with people because you expect that the food is better there, right? So the same triggers are used in sales by saying like, the majority of people, like it's harder to get a property in Imar, or like it's harder to get a property on beachfront, or whatever now it's on the market. So like just explaining that, but not lying, or you can even prove. You can take them to the sales office and they can see all this all the crowd in there, and they can see that the results of action. It's something that triggers your client to buy, other than just telling them like, oh my God, it will go away. Show them, you can win clients by clients' trust by proof, by showing that whatever you're saying is really valid.
Yeah, and I think the great thing, well, there's positives and negatives about social media, but there are some really good agents out there which have great knowledge, and they're informing the market, and they're putting these videos out and these reels out, and a lot of it actually is really useful, because they know the area so well. They've become the master of that area. Anyone can call them up and they'll know, it's back row facing, it's facing the pool, it's next to the mosque, it's an exit for Al Khail Road. All of these things are so important. And when you're with the client and there's that trigger side of it, okay, the triggering is a positive and a negative. Like, one thing is that you're going to get them, and the other is that they feel reassured. And if you are the expert in what you do and you're the industry expert, you don't need to be pushing them to say, hey, if you don't buy now. It can be as simple as knowing all of your stuff that they need to know. The worst thing is when a buyer comes to you and are asking questions, and there's only so many times you can say, let me get back to you about that.
Yes.
They want to know things now. They don't wait around, because if you don't know it, someone else is going to know it, and they will get that deal.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one thing of doing activity every day, of calling people and trying to get listings and trying to get buyers, but really take some time to understand your area, because
invest in yourself,
but really understand. Like, I love the idea of a client calling me up and asking me a certain unit. I knew the square foot, I knew the view, I knew the amenities, I knew why it was important to them, because I took the time to invest my knowledge and time into knowing about everything around it.
Yeah. And this is why we recommend often to real estate brokers to choose an area and not try to be a Dubai broker, be a specialist in a certain area, because you can't know it all. Another good trigger that we all know, when is the most amount of sales done in UAE? Do you know? In Ramadan.
In Ramadan.
Okay. Yes. All the companies, they do these promotions, like the most amount of cars, most amount of everything. And we even have this, not we, but usually residents and Emiratis, they have a habit to wait until Ramadan to buy stuff, because in Ramadan, there usually are promotions. Yeah. So that's also a trigger. If now, if you buy now, you get it, or if it's an event or Christmas market, or the packing day, like after Christmas when everything is on sale, or we have Black Fridays. So all those sales tricks, there are triggers. Yeah. So when you tell your customer, if you buy it now, you get a discount. How it can be applied in real estate, I see it more in leasing rather than sales. If you check in and move in sooner, I can talk to the landlord to get you a better rate, which is reasonable. The fact that apartment will not stay empty for a long time, so you check in straight away and you get your discount. So this is if you buy now, you get something. Or sometimes developers also do that. If we close the deal until the end of this week, I can make you a discount.
Yeah. So there's two things with that, really, because I can hear people saying, well, if there's going to be a sale in 3 months, the client's going to wait for 3 months then. They're going to wait for the next Eid, and they're going to be like, there's going to be an offer then. Or then now Ramadan's finished, I'll wait another 11 months for it to come round again, okay? So how do you get them to buy something like now, really? And the truth is, everyone that says, hey, let's wait for the market to go down a bit, they've lost a lot.
Yes.
And it's a case of, the trouble is, in the client's mind, all they're thinking of is the price. But they very rarely think about the cost. And that's the big difference. What is it costing them by maybe choosing a cheaper developer, as an example, going with a lower price because it's a lower price, but you've seen more established areas and developers, they've maintained their price and gone up higher than most, because people want more quality now. And that's why renovations are so popular. You've got these major areas like the lakes, the meadows, and people are buying those old villas, gutting them and doing an amazing job on them, spending the extra money needed. And then somebody walks in and they're ready to move in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well,
then, yeah.
I want to tell you how I did close once a deal by using this trigger, and I was absolutely honest. It was the end of the month, and I told to the client, like, if you really want to buy this property, let's get it, because if I get the commission in this end of the month, I'll have it higher. Like, I have a target. And I had such a good rapport with the client that she was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm buying it anyway, so nice. I was honest, and I was telling, like, if we do it now, like, it's going to be good for me as well. And they liked me because we had good relationship and they bought it. Or it can be done. I think once I closed a deal saying it's my birthday. It was my birthday, and the client wanted to, to make it better for me. And they're like, yeah, let's close the deal and go and celebrate. So sometimes using an event, a certain, occasion can really help you close a deal. Maybe you guys have some examples of your sales triggers that happened to you or you used, you can share, because I think it's an interesting topic. Other than, we're not talking about manipulations, we're talking about honest things that can help to move your sales process further. The next topic that I want to talk, and we kind of went there slowly, is understanding clients and their psychotypes. We are all different, and in sales it's very important to understand which kind of clients you're dealing with. And you a little bit said about introverts and extroverts, and how important to understand that. I will start, and then I'll give you the mic, which you have already. So for example, I, even if it's not really obvious, I am an introverted person. Like, I don't have a very, extroverted kind of life. So when I'm in a sales encounter, and when I'm dealing with a salesperson, I don't want them to try to be my friends. I don't want them to try to be like, let's go have lunch together. How is your life? How is your, family? How was your weekend? I don't want that. In my case, I need to go straight to business, and I needed to do it fast. I don't know. It's not like I don't have time, but yes, I work a lot, and to me, time is very important. So when I enter in any shop, even like for shopping, I usually know already what I want. So I Googled it, I research it, and I'll enter in the store and I'll be like, I need the black dress, this height, please show me. And if they start showing me red, blue, and I'm getting out, it's a waste of time. They're annoying me. So a salesperson should be able to scan the person they're dealing with and be like a chameleon to adjust to the person you are dealing with. In the same time, when me being an introvert, like, this is how I learned to be chatty and, active from real estate, because I encountered those kind of clients who are coming to Dubai to buy a property, and for them this is like a whole experience. Like, you have to go on lunches, you have to go to developers, you have to have dinners with their family and to know their kids, and then to celebrate the purchase. So like, if you don't do it, like in our culture as well, like being a Russian, you can't say like, I'm not gonna have dinner with you. Like, this is very rude. So like, you have to go through all this. And even in Arab culture is the same. Like, you have to go, to have food together. This is like a sort of bonding, and like, you have to interact with them and to be entertaining. While my inner Yulia wanted to go to business, sell the apartment, and go home and watch Netflix. But because you're a salesperson, you have to adjust to the person you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about you and your experiences.
Yeah, so I think as well, I'm an introvert, okay, 100%, and once I get into it, I can talk and I can speak, and I've got good knowledge to share, but also I listen as well. But I think one thing that I like to do, so if I'm at an event and there's a table and there's like 3 people and they're having a really nice conversation, I'm looking at them thinking, they're having a really nice conversation. I don't want to disturb them, okay? But I'm there to network and I'm there to try and generate business, build my community, everything, okay? So what I have to do is I have to tell myself that what I'm going to be able to share with them is going to be able to solve their problem and be of value to them. So I kind of trick my mind. And then, and I use this in other scenarios as well, but I have a 1, 2, 3 rule. And we just go 1, 2, 3, go up. Okay. And people, we try to come up with an opening line and we try to sound so cool. But the truth is just get the words out. Yeah. And build from there really. You know, but sometimes people would think I am a little bit standoffish when I first meet people, or they might think I'm a little bit arrogant. That's sometimes the feedback I get, okay? But it's only because I'm not trying to put myself onto somebody. You know, there's some people like, hey, how you doing this? You know, I'm like, I'm calm, I'm collected. I want to understand more about that person first to then be able to adapt to them, but still stay true to who I am. And I think this is a mistake that a lot of people make. We try to adapt to the other person, but we lose who we are. And that is a big disconnect with a person because then they don't think you're being authentic. They don't think you're being real, and they don't want to work with you. You know, a lot of the time with the content I put out, with people I speak to, okay, it might be a little bit childish. It might be a little bit, I mean, some things you can see behind here, but that's who I am. That's the core to who I am. And I always say some will get it, some won't. So what? There's a massive community of people that I connect with. You know, so when we look at communicating with people, there's different types of ways that people want to be dealt with. So somebody needs you to tell them what to do. Some people want that. Yeah. Yeah. And that can be a big shot as well, like a big shot personality. This guy or this woman is a multi-millionaire. They've got investments everywhere. And again, like if you're coming across and can I talk to you? Is that okay? You know, you're not really going to get anywhere with it. But if you come across like you can stand up for yourself, and then you stand up to them as well, because when they're coming to you saying, well, why should I invest in you? Or why I like to say it's up to you. You know, this is maybe it won't work for us. Maybe we won't connect, but I think it's worth exploring it. And this is
same like in a relationship.
Yeah, well, but this, and everything's about relationships, but this is where salespeople make mistakes because they try to sell themselves so quickly, and a buyer sniffs that out straight away. You know, why should I invest in you? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're trying to list everything. But how do I know what is of value to you until I understand what is of value to you? So I want to take this time to sit with you, understand your current ecosystem, and from that, you can make a choice. It's completely up to you. But I've worked with many clients in the region that have seen value in what we're doing. But let's explore this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give another example of psychotypes of people. You know, when they're very extroverted type of people, you know, this kind of sales people. Sorry, I turn on I wanted to see if it works. Okay. You know, those kind of sales people that they fill the entire room, you know, those ones that talk a lot, they know everything about the product, they like the stage, which is not bad, you know, like they are the guy of the sales. And there are those types of clients that are very number statistic oriented type of people who for them data, ROI, price, discount, square feet, like the numbers is everything that matters, statistics. So those extroverted type of people, they tend to exaggerate. Yeah. It's just a personality trait. Yeah, like they like to make everything like as a show, as an entertainment, and they tend to exaggerate. So if they behave in that way with that very number-oriented person, and they will say instead of a 9,900 square feet, they will say 1,000. That's it. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Like even 1 square feet will make you a liar.
Mm.
So it is very important, even if you are that kind of person, to maybe dumb it down a little, like, to take your emotion a little bit less, and to really read with whom you're dealing with. Because you can lose clients just by the fact that you didn't read them right. You didn't understand what they want. So I
Yeah.
think it's, but at the same time, like if you think about it from another perspective, you don't have to sell to everybody. So there is another theory that you can just sell to people that you match with, like on Tinder, and you just stay with them and like sell to them. You don't have to sell to everybody. It's your choice as a salesperson if you want to adjust your client, or you want to choose the type of people you're dealing with. This is, by the way, I'll just say the last idea and we move to the next topic, is that I do not believe in the idea that you have to be born as a salesperson, or like you have to be a certain type of person to be a salesperson, right? You can be you, and you'll find enough people that will want to deal with you the way you are, unless you're a liar or like a con artist. Like in that case, it's different. But if
Yeah.
you are honest and your intentions are honest and you want to help people and you want to do business, it doesn't matter. You are introvert or an extrovert, you are choleric, you're pragmatic, what type of personality you have, right?
Yeah. I'll just tell you a quick little story. So my brother, he was in real estate, and he's still known today because he was such a character. Okay, like if somebody had a mortgage or somebody was trying to get a mortgage, he wouldn't deal with them. It was cash buyers only. Okay, but he would tell them, like, he'd be blunt with it. Okay, but his personality was he would turn up in shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops. Yeah, and he'd do viewings like that. That is how he was. But no one could ever test him on his market knowledge or or how to actually get this deal done for the person. He was so smart about the technical side of it, the terms and conditions, making sure that the client's being serviced and being looked after the right way, going to battle for that person. And that trumped anything of his appearance. He decided to dress like that. Sometimes he decided to wear a suit, and it just wasn't him. His personality would come out a lot better in the way that he was dressed. And there's many people which wear suits and wear the, what is it called, selling sunsets, with the high heels and the lovely dresses and everything. And the truth is, that's just surface level stuff. Okay, like people need to know that. Do you need to own a 50 million dirham villa to be able to sell 50 million dirham villa? No, you don't, okay? But you still need to be able to understand what a 50 million dirham buyer looks like and how their personality is and how they need to be treated. They want it, they're the power play. They want to be the most important person in the room, and you need to give that to them without taking away your powers as well, because they need to know that you're an expert in what you're doing.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I always say on trainings that you need to look professional, you need to be in a suit, like you need to look decent. And the biggest property I sold was on Emirates Hills, and I had the Mickey Mouse t-shirt. But I don't say this to anybody because that's how it works for me. But it doesn't work on anybody. Like you have to be exceptional.
Deal done for the person. He was so smart about the technical side of it, the terms and conditions, making sure that the client's being serviced and being looked after the right way, going to battle for that person. And that trumped anything of his appearance. He decided to dress like that. Sometimes he decided to wear a suit, and it just wasn't him. His personality would come out a lot better in the way that he was dressed. And there's many people which wear suits and wear the, what is it called, selling sunsets, you know, with the high heels and the lovely dresses and everything. And the truth is, that's just surface level stuff. Okay, like people need to know that. Do you need to own a 50 million dirham villa to be able to sell 50 million dirham villa? No, you don't. Okay, but you still need to be able to understand what a 50 million dirham buyer looks like and how their personality is and how they need to be treated. You know, they want it. They're the power play. You know, they want to be the most important person in the room, and you need to give that to them without taking away your powers as well, because they need to know that you're an expert in what you're doing.
Right. I agree. Yeah. You know, I always say on trainings that you need to look professional, you need to be in a suit, like you need to look decent. And the biggest property I sold was on Emirates Hills, and I had the Mickey Mouse t-shirt. But I don't say this to anybody because that's how it works for me. But it doesn't work on anybody. Like you have to be exceptional to be so professional, so exceptional, to be brave enough to come in flip-flops and sell properties.
Yeah, the suit will get you in the door, okay? But your knowledge will keep you there, and your expertise will keep you there. And if you haven't got the expertise, you'll be out the door quicker than you entered in.
Correct. And the last topic, it's your topic, I like to talk to you about it, is how to get into the door, like how to position yourself as a successful closer. What I mean by that, when you enter in the room, when you enter in the sales transaction, when you meet your client, how to make them feel that you are the right person to deal with, because the market is oversaturated with agents. We all know that. There are too many agents. There is a clear Pareto rule in real estate in Dubai that 20% of brokers are closing 80% of the market, and the rest are just eating the crumbs. So like how to show to your client that you are the one, how to show them that they can trust you, you are professional, you are... you can get them the deal they need, because you don't have so much time to create the first impression, right? So how you do it, how you give this vibe, like I'm the one.
Yeah, so I think the word, like you said, the word trust, okay?
Yeah.
And it isn't about, you know, being so nice they trust you. Like they have to trust that you can get what they need. And that's when you become a value to somebody. And the word I like to use is competent. Can this person get me what I need? That is what your client is thinking. And if you can't do that, then they'll move on to the next one. You know, the client is only loyal for so long. Okay, so...
And now they're not loyal, really.
Pardon?
Nowadays, clients are not really loyal. I've noticed compared to the market when we started, well, you started 16 years ago, I started 12. At that time, they were like trying to grab this agent and go after him everywhere and please help me to find the property. Now clients are like, I'm going to deal with everybody. You just get me what I need. How to make your different. Like there is a message in the chat, by delivery a world-class value proposition. That's also a way of showing that you are special.
Yeah, I think the only way you can give the value proposition is by presenting what the information they've given you. You're going to get back to them. You're going to repeat back to them what they've told you. But the truth is as well, is that people only know what they know. So a client is coming to you and they've understood that there's a new area which has seen the biggest growth, okay? So like you said, you go into the store and you already are quite informed. People have made like 60% of the decision before they've even gone to proceed with somebody, okay? So what value are you actually bringing to them? And the thing is, can you bring them new knowledge? Can you bring them new expertise that could lead to them making a different decision? And that is where they call upon you, because these guys, which are women, men, whatever it is, they're high net worth individuals, okay? And they have people around them which get the knowledge and bring it back to them. So if you are going to be out there for them and you're going to be finding the properties for them, hunting down the right investments for them, you could have the relationship already with the buyer, with the seller who they're looking to buy the property from. And because you've got that relationship, you're then able to get the deal that they want. But it's from you putting in all the effort before to meet with the buyers. You know, even today I was watching a video with Sylvia, actually, which I thought was really interesting. She was talking about with what's gone on with the rain today or yesterday.
Okay.
She is now contacting, or she would tell the salespeople and the real estate agents to contact all of the tenants and all of the people that have bought from them to understand if their building is okay, if their building has stood up to this storm that's happened. Yeah. Now, what does that do? That shows that you're caring to somebody. And then you're also getting information about buildings which are actually going to stand up, because there's a lot of insurance cases that are going to happen now. But if you know of an area that has stood the test of time for the worst storm in the last 75 years, and you can advise a client who's in another country, who's seeing all these videos of all of these things that have happened in Dubai, but there's an area which, you know, stayed safe, that's a good investment.
The strongest one.
I'm so proud of my building that I'm in now, honestly. Like, I've seen real devastation go on in other areas in Dubai. My building stood the test of time, so I'm super proud of it.
Stay there for
I'm staying here. I'm not leaving. But getting back to it really is building trust with somebody. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, I'm not asking you to buy from me now. I'm not asking you to buy from me in 6 months. But let me prove myself to you. That's all I'm asking for, is this opportunity. Because a lot of the time they'll say, I'm working with a broker already. And, you know, you can come up with a cheesy line and say, yeah, but do they get you everything you want?
Yeah.
I like to say it's good to cover your bases, because they may have an investment in one area and I may know of another one. And that allows them to relax a little bit. And that's what this is all about. That's all I ever ask for with any person I speak to, is they are open-minded to explore the opportunity. And let me prove myself to them. Now, people might say, well, I want to make the deal now. I need to make money now. Let's build relationships. And when you get that handful of clients that will buy from you when any time you call them, that's because of the work you've put in over 1 year, 2 years. This is a long game. But the trouble is, everyone's looking at these transactional deals. They're looking to make money right now. But those people, when the market does drop, they'll be the first to go, because they would have made their money and don't care for anything else.
And I don't think they'll be able to adjust to the new reality. Because I remember the last drop, when everything was good, and then it started dropping. And a lot of real estate brokers, they just left the market because they were not able to adjust to the actual work, to the actual winning trust, to the actual searching for clients, to the to the job itself. I can say from my side, like, how I see real estate professionals, like how they win me over, because, you know, sometimes buy properties or rent properties. And how I see it is that I need somebody to have enough information, you know, like, because I'm a nerd, so I researched a lot. And there is a trend, by the way, in nowadays. It's not only in UAE, it's all over the world. People are not tolerant to mediocre salespeople. Yeah, people like, you need to be an expert at what you are doing. So you should provide information that is not on Google. You should be able to tell them something that I wasn't able to find online. So I choose those brokers who come to me with a lot of knowledge, that come to me with a lot of data, that come to me with the proof, because there's a lot of scams and a lot of lies. So I would like to be comfortable and reassured that, you know, this is the right property and the right investment and the right agent. So somebody who will win my trust, by professionalism, by competence, how you're saying it, and by knowledge, and helping me to trust them. Because I think we need to help our clients to trust us, and not telling them, trust me, I'm amazing, but actually put those doubts at ease, to help them to understand what are those fears, what are those doubts, and without pushing, just helping them, to trust you and to proceed with the work.
Yeah, so I think from something that's popped into my head, and it was from a podcast I was listening to last month, and it's really stuck with me. And it's this energy that you've got to have. And the energy it's a with or without you energy. Mm-hmm. This property is going to sell with or without you. I'm doing my podcast at the moment. I'm trying to interview more and more people, okay? But I'm reaching out to people, and it's going to happen with or without them. And that's how you've got to make people feel, like, because then they feel like they are missing out. Like, they want to be part of it. They want to be part of the crowd, like you said. They want to go on this journey. So I think, that's what I'd really try to apply in everything I do in my email communication, my verbal communication. This is going to happen with or without you. You can either come along with us, or we're going to dominate and take over. And that's applied to being a real estate agent, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, to being in the company. This with or without you energy.
I want to take it as an end. I like the phrase, and it worked well. Yeah. So my gift was and is, and I'm going to share it, is a discount that you can use only on Mark's training, that you can find it on ThinkProp. It's called 5 Principles of Sales. And there is a promo code that is very easy, WEB30, and you get 30% discount. So I'll keep it on the screen. And there is a little bit of time, I think 5 more minutes, if you guys want to ask any questions from me, from Mark, about sales, about relationships, about anything you want to ask. You maybe need to consider to make, a course about relationship, just the same as sales, just change the wording. Maybe it'll work.
Well, I think just whilst people are potentially asking questions, which would be great, what this course is really about is not just about house selling, because you need to build a career. And to build a career, you need people around you that are going to champion and support you. And that is what relationships are all about. Within a workplace, having somebody recognize you, and you can't do it alone, okay? So you need to be coachable, and somebody will help you as long as they feel that you're open to change. And a lot of the time you ask somebody, we're going on this journey. Are you willing to do this, this, and this? And they say they are, but there's the behavior and then there's the action. And a lot of people, what they're saying or what they're doing are 2 very, very different things. And that's what I want to help people with. Like, get that self-awareness, okay, build confidence, realize that there's somebody of value in front of somebody, and know the skills to apply so they can get people to buy from them and champion and support them, and they rise up the ranks and build the career that they want.
Yeah, I added to the link here, to the chat, I added the link to your training. So if you guys don't find it, you can copy it. It's right there. We didn't have questions, even though we have a lot of people online. Maybe we're so good that they don't have questions, or they just don't ask. Okay, we have a question. How we can accelerate the learning curve for new agents? Do you want to answer or answer?
Yeah. Okay. So action. So you've got to action. So you learn it, try it, and apply it. Okay. And what that means is that after everything you do, you action it out to see if it actually works for you. Okay. So you do the training, and then there's accountability sessions. So the trouble is, a lot of the time you come in, you do physical training or online training, and everyone's buzzed up, everyone's excited, or everyone's completely dismissed it, whatever. Okay. But there's no follow-up. And this is what I really like to do. I like to do the training, and then let's meet again next week and let's see if this has actually worked. And the trouble is with a lot of companies, they try this and they go, right, there's accountability next week and it's going to be on Tuesday. You have to be ready. They do it for 2 weeks. The third week, oh, the director had to reschedule. Yeah. Oh, let's move it to next Tuesday. They move it to next Tuesday. Oh, it's a holiday coming up. We can't do it now. And then all of a sudden it goes back to how it was. So you have to stay consistent with it. And then the people in the business will then believe that you're committed to doing it. But everyone just tries something and, it's someone hasn't turned up, let's move it. And it never continues on.
I think about like to this exactly question, how to accelerate the learning curve for the new agents. I like to compare the results in training with the results in the gym. We talked about it before. So there is no way of accelerating it. You have to do a systematic work. You learn the exercise, you learn the pose, you increase your weights, and you keep on doing it 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever you choose. There is no way to accelerate the muscle growth, and the same way is no way to accelerate the synapses growth in your head, how to act in the sales transactions. So you can give them the knowledge, and you have to give also time and to invest in rewatching it, revisiting all the topics, practicing it more and more until your sales muscle grows and you actually become a strong salesperson. I don't think anybody can, become from zero to hero in 1 week. It's impossible. You can take all the knowledge. Like I also have a killer a course, for 5 days where I go from 0 to 100. Like I give all the information, but taking the information and applying it regularly and not giving up if it doesn't work on the first 2 clients and doing it over and over again, this is where the results come.
Yeah, I interviewed Dr. Corey Block last week, who's this behavioral scientist, okay? And I asked him about, how do you get people to build self-esteem and self-confidence without being reliant on others to tell them they're doing a good job, okay? Because the truth is, no one's going to take that leap unless they start to believe a little bit, yeah? So there has to be some sort of proof there, okay? He said there's actual science behind it and there's an actual number, and the number is 4%. Somebody will be willing to do something if it's going to be 4% growth on what they're doing. That's the number. So let's say if you use your gym analogy, okay? If they're lifting 100 kg and you increase it to 104, they will be willing to try that out. But if you increase it by 10%, they will be very skeptical and not want to do it. And the trouble is, it's how that person feels when they're trying something out. So you can't, like you said, Yulia, and you're 100% right, you can't rush it. But there are small little incremental changes you can make, which builds momentum, builds motivation. Because the worst thing that happened to me when I started in the company was after 2 days, I made a sale. Okay. Now that sale happened because a phone call came in and I took an order, and that's how I made the sale. That was the worst thing that could have happened to me. I got no experience from doing it. You learn more from when
you felt like you know it all, right? Like you felt like you know it, and you didn't have this desire to learn everything.
No, I learned nothing though. What did I learn?
Exactly.
I've taken an order, and they've sent the money over. But what have I learned? I didn't learn any of the process. I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn about the objection. What does a client really object about? What challenges am I going to face when I meet the next person? Not everyone's going to buy from me like that.
Yeah, I agree. Amazing evening. Thank you very much. I really had fun. I like talking to you, honestly. So it's it was nice. And join the course. Follow the link, check the links on other courses on ThinkProp. They're my course too. So if you are into learning, if you're into education, follow ThinkProp, and we have a lot of different courses. And of course, join Mark on 22nd, is it?
22nd and 23rd, yeah.
Yes, join Mark on 22nd, 23rd on the course. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, Mark.
Thank you so much, Julia. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Stay safe, everybody.